Once you import a data set into Pandas as a data frame, you want to know more about the data that is present inside it. Basically, you want to inspect it and understand the structure and the contents of that data frame. In this, we will first review some of the functions that we have already seen about how to inspect a data frame and then take it further from there. We will see more methods of how to inspect your data frame in more detail. First, what we are going to do is we are going to import a dataset called churn.csv. This dataset contains telecom churn data. Let's import it and see what it contains. First, load pandas and numpy as it is. Import the data frame. So this is how it looks like. You have multiple rows here. Each row represents a customer. It tells you how the customer has used his telephone data plan throughout his tenure with the company. And at the end of this data frame, at the end of it, you have a column called churn. This column represents whether that particular customer is with the company or not. Right, so all this information is present over here. We are not bothered so much about the exact content of it or the meaning of these columns, but just know that this is about churn data, right? Now, what we want to know more about it is how many rows and columns are present inside it. You can know that using df.shape, a very standard function. If you want to know just the number of rows inside your data frame, you can use len of ds, that will give you the rows. Now, df.head, previously we saw just df.head giving you top 5 rows, right? This takes a parameter inside it that tells you how many rows to display. If you want it to show 6 rows, just pass 6 inside it. If you want it to show, say, 10 rows, just pass 10 inside it. It will show you 10 rows. Likewise, you have df.tail. The bottom 6 rows is showing here. Now, this is to get a quick sneak peek into what is the content of your data frame. Now, you want to know more. What is the data type of each of these columns present inside it? You can know that multiple ways. Very common way to know it is using df.info. This function gives you what is the data type of every column present inside the data frame. It also, this is the data type. It also tells you what each and every column's data type is. So if you see an object over here, this is likely to be a string. If it is a number, it is either going to be int base, it could be int 64, int 32, something like that. Typically, pandas will convert all integers to int 64 by default. Likewise, all float to float 64 by default. All right. And if you have any boolean, that gets converted to bool. And all string objects, string columns gets imported as objects. Now, this also tells you how many rows, how many columns. The indexes, it starts from 0 to this much. All right. All this information is present. And at the bottom of this table, it also tells you the memory usage. This much kilobytes this particular data frame is consuming. Now, if you want to know what is the consumption, that is the memory consumption of each and every column, you can explicitly use df.memory underscore usage with a deep equal to true. This tells you the memory consumption of each and every column present inside your data frame. So that's good. If you want to look only at the d types, df.info is one option. df.dtypes, this is a parameter, this is a attribute of df. If you just run this, it will tell you just the data types of each and every column present inside your data frame. All right, so that's clear. Now we know more about what type of data is present inside the data frame, right? Now sometimes we want to convert one data type to another data type. You might want to convert a boolean to an integer or an integer to boolean, sometimes a string to an integer, things like that. You can do all of that using this particular method called asType. So pick a particular column. We want to convert this churn. The churn is present as a boolean here, right? We want to convert this boolean to integer. I can pass this as int. I can pass this as int 32, int 64, int 8, whatever int I want or you want, you can pass it over here and that conversion will happen as it is. So here, by doing to int conversion, now let's check the info. The churn is now converted to int 32. Let's look at the head. Let's check the values. If you go all the way to churn, it is now converted to numbers. Earlier, all these values were present as false. So that's how we start inspecting our data frame. This is not over yet. We will look at another topic, that is renaming, how to rename the different columns of your data frame, various approaches to rename your column, and then come back and continue this topic.